Good evening, everyone. Wishing you all a very happy Teachers' Day. It's really an honor that all of you have joined us today for the Education E-Conclave. We have a team of educators who have spoken in past as well as people who are coming to us for the first time, and they are going to have a discussion. Now, I would request Kavita Rai, who is the Associate Editor for Career Beacon, Joint Convener for National Career Counselors Network and co-founder for Concept.
And yes, the National Education Policy 2020. Then we had Dr. Partha Sarathi Mishra. He talked about the focus on having multidisciplinary college in every district by 2030 is a promising idea as well. So, Dr. Partha, if you can please come and share your views on how NAP is going to overall and re-energize the higher education system. Your insight and do you agree or not with that? Please.
First of all, very good afternoon. Uh, and myself I am Dr. Partha Sarathi Mishra. I am by profession as an IAS officer. I have served in higher education department as a special secretary and looked after two of the university as a registrar and director. Uh, First of all, my greetings on the Teachers' Day. I congratulate all the architects of the minds of the students today. In fact, they are important. And as you told me that how this policy is different from the earlier policies, I would say that this new education policy 2020, it has a very distinct features, and it makes a complete departure from the all earlier policy pronouncement, be it 68 or be it 86 or 2009. Everywhere, every time there are some amendments, but these policies is a really great departure from all of them. If you look at the earlier policies, we have found that the more focus was on access and equity, but this time the parameters have been broadened. Now we have inclusion, affordability, and accountability. Three more broad parameters have been added to this. So my opinion that these policies makes a complete changeover from the earlier focus. The very fact that government is bringing about a new education policy, that means how the government is serious about it. Some of our esteemed speakers told about that GDP 6% has always been there, but this time the kind of framework they have made, I mean the kind of budgetary allocation that has been indicated, that we are very hopeful that government's focus is everything. The second important thing is that what I believe that the earlier focus has always been textual. Now it has changed from textual to pedagogical. I mean, it is now a student's complete improvement in his cognitive sphere is more important. That has been focused upon. The third thing which I believe that the autonomy a student gets in choosing a curriculum or in selecting the multiple entry and exit. These are actually, the student was hardly get any chance to do this kind of, and this is the requirement of the time. That is the why it is changed. And
yes, thank you so much for your insight, sir. And it's an honor to have you. And so it's a small token of appreciation from us.
These are things. Now, with this, without further delay, may I request Colonel A. Shekhar, Dr. Vivek M. Nanoti, Professor Dr. Ajay Rana, and Dr. Partha Sarathi Mishra to join us on the screen, because now we are going to start a panel discussion. Dr. Partha Sarathi Mishra is from Indian Administrative Service and he is from Government of Odisha. Lieutenant Colonel A. Shekhar, none other than only four adjectives that I can use. He is an educationist, he's a soldier first educationist, he's a leader, trainer, and mentor. So over to you, Colonel Shekhar, 30 minutes bang from now.
Okay, thank you very much, Sananda ma'am, and good evening to all of you. Namaskar. My first question to you, Dr. Mishra, is very simple and straightforward. In the higher education space, the policy envisions a complete overhaul and re-energizing of the higher education system. Great words to hear. From your perch as registrar, as special secretary, in a minute and a half, sir, do you agree with this statement? If so, why?
First of all, I would quote here Victor Hugo, the French novelist. He says, "You can't stop an idea whose time has come." In fact, today, the reform of education in India, the real time has come today. I, as a bureaucrat, as a part of the policy formulation and policy implementation, and as a practitioner, I have observed that education as a subject for the government has not been taken the right place or right focus over the years. After 34 years, if you are getting a new education policy, it itself is a great thing. We always feel that the change has to come. But we have a, if you look at the all earlier policy pronouncements, right from 68, if you look at the 86, then amendments in 92 and 2009, what we have noticed that, what we have observed, that in all the policy pronouncements, there are basically two parameters they have focused on. One is the equity concept and the access concept. This time they have broadened the entire gamut. They have now introduced affordability. Now they have introduced inclusion. And important thing is that they have also focused on that how best a holistic development of a student can be possible. Never before the all the stakeholders in the education system were getting a equal space. Here this time, the greatest discovery of this education policy is the discovery of the student. What a student wants actually. So the contextual student in the right perspective, in this millennium, that is also important. That is what the government has thought of. Now, from the textual part, there is a shift to pedagogical part. This is important. Catching a student from at the age of 3, taking the preschool as one of the agenda in government scheme, that itself is a great change. What I believe that apart from the focus on this thing, the kind of autonomy we have given to the colleges, the autonomy we have given to the universities. There is no longer so many universities like affiliating universities, unitary university, cluster university. All those things are removed. So bringing all the universities under one format called the university itself is a great thing. Having a
Right.
excuse me.
Right, sir. Yeah, I'll catch on. I'll get back to you on this. So you believe that there is a different focus. Dr. Mishra, again, we now talk about multidisciplinary options, choices, autonomy, right? It is a great idea, but what are the mindset changes expected in the teacher, the scholastic leaders, and in the parents so that it becomes a reality? I've always said that I can be a plumber, I can be a dancer, I can be a doctor. We require that to happen. So the multidisciplinary approach is great. We heard a couple of conversations where it is, I mean, there is no doubt that this has to happen. How will it happen, sir? What are the challenges? Dr. Mishra.
It's a very, very important question. It is, in fact, the most demanding question for everybody. Sir, actually, I am a product of JNU. And in JNU, when I was studying, the JNU was a multidisciplinary university right from the beginning.
JNU is very unpopular in India today, sir, on the lighter side. Please go ahead.
But it is unpopular for the other regions, but as for the academic part, it is still within the best 10 university of the country. I hope you know that.
I'm from Kerala, sir. JNU is very popular there. Please go ahead, sir.
Now, what I believe that, you see, we have to go what exactly the time demands. In fact, multidisciplinary is one aspect which has been long overdue in the educational system. Particularly, I am speaking from my cadre. I am from Indian Administrative Service. If you look at the composition of the IAS officers being selected every year, you find a couple of them, they're from the IITs, a couple of them from IIMs, many are technocrats. So when they come and join into the bureaucracy, what happens actually, supposing one IITian goes and becomes a district magistrate, he heads a district. You see, running a corporate and running a district is very different. You have to do with human beings. You have to deal with the day-to-day problems. Many issues are social, economic, they are cultural, they are emotional. So you have to have a studies in governance, in human values, in all creative arts, because these are the inputs, academic inputs you have to have when you study. So when I was being trained at Masuri in our IS Academy, there most of the lectures are actually on governance, on human values, on social values, on cultural issues. So these are the challenges we have. So
Right.
when you introduce a multidisciplinary thing, a student who is from the IIT or a engineering background or a medical background or management background, he should have a little bit of this kind of dose. So
Right.
I believe this is a very welcome move.
Right. Great, sir. I have the greatest of respect for the challenging environment JNU has created. We look at the political issues separately. It was just to make it a little humorous. Following up on what Dr. Mishra has said rightly, I am from the armed forces, of course, from the education, and I have always said that it's easier to change the Indian armed forces than the academicians. Dr. Mishra, trust and self-reporting. You are a bureaucrat. You are also running a university. Will it work?
Definitely it will work. I mean, as I told you in the beginning, that this time the most important segment is it is the accountability that has been introduced this time. I mean, the way the policy has been, I mean, the way it has been designed, that responsibility can be fixed for any commission or omission. That is important for this time. So, in fact, the self-reporting part and change of mindset, these are very important things, and this has to be changed. Not all the stakeholders have a role to play. I mean, as a bureaucrat, I have been working in higher education department for quite some time. I have seen that even many of the teachers, when they never grow with the time actually. They don't keep an organic pace with the changes. Whatever they have studied 30 years back, they still teach them in the classes. So that kind of mindset change, the changing in their educational, the entire pedagogy pattern has to be changed. That is what the
Yeah.
national policy aims for. And I will
Right.
John Dewey that education is not preparation for life; it is the life itself.
Right.
That is what his policy is actually. The beauty of this policy is that it is the education is the life itself.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Mishra, as a bureaucrat, these numbers are clear. Delhi has got college. It's the gross enrollment of higher education is 50. Tamil Nadu has got 45. Orissa is much lower. Is it all that we get the numbers to 50? Where are the jobs? How will we get it done? What is Orissa's experience on that, Dr. Mishra?
No, sir, actually, the what you were speaking about Odisha, I have to little correct you. That in Odisha, actually, the if you are aware that Odisha is the educational hub of the East. You name any institution, national level, be it IIT, be it IIM, National Institute of Science, everything is there. And for on record, I'm telling as a person with responsibility that in Odisha, no academic session has been delayed till before the COVID. Not any examination has been cancelled. And as for the employability part, I do agree that the industry and academia interface is not there, but we have started a lot of initiatives, particularly the Make in Odisha. We have brought in down 500 companies, corporates, government sector all over the globe were there. So the efforts are there. But the important thing is that always, I mean, I have been listening to Dr. Rana and they are focusing on the pumping of money in education sector. But sir, my experience is otherwise. In RUSA, we received around 50K, 500 crores. Under World Bank project, we got 1,000 crores. And UGC, we have got a lot of those. But our institutions, our universities, colleges, they could not spend it. When we filed the utilization certificate in the end of the year, the situation is very pathetic. In fact,
Okay.
that is what I'm telling you that giving money is not important.
Right.
How best can utilize that money? That is also very
Right. Great point, sir. Dr. Mishra, 30 seconds. How will you look at Orissa and your profile in 2040?
In 2040, first of all, I will say that I believe that India would be a superpower in the international knowledge economy. I mean, there is no doubt about it. Odisha, obviously, I can't just restrict my analysis to just Odisha. I will give for the national perspective. I believe that 2040, a student of India would be much more sensitized, much more enjoyable. He must have an open mind. He understands the system much more than what he understands today. And that is what is the catch actually. What our Honorable Prime Minister says, it doesn't matter what you think, it matters how you think.
Okay.
Creativity, that innovative thinking, that must have come to them. I believe the much more independent a student must be.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. It was a lively discussion. Good to have opposite and different points of view coming in. Thank you.